Hi there, we're back with another way too early grades of rosters, where I'll give my opinion on newly formed teams and inform you of potential team changes that are also going on in each region. First, let's talk about crew. They kept Kesnet, Shy, and Mesler on this team, and some are speculating that MTA is going to be on the reserve, which isn't such a bad idea either. As long as you have Kesnet and Shy on this team, you can go pretty far. And it also seems like crew decided to keep the whole rotating players between them and Leviathan alive, with Mazinho leaving Leviathan and joining crew. Honestly, I think this is a great pickup. Mazinho showed flashes of greatness for Leviathan and actually helped him win some games from time to time. He was probably one of the better available players that they could have gotten. They also decided to bring back Averzo, who, you guessed it, used to also play for Leviathan back in the day. Albeit he was away from tier 1 for a while, but he's now getting his opportunity to show his worth back on the tier 1 stage with crew. And like I said, as long as you have Shy, Kesnet, and Mesler, who this team can go far. They have a nasty little habit of always making it to champs, as well as going on streaks, where in 2024, they won 5 in a row and then they lost 7 in a row. And even before then, they went on a 9-game losing streak before they went on a streak to win America's LCQ. Crew is the definition of a heat check. Either they're hot or they're not. There's like little to no in between when it comes to them. I still like the pickup and those who they decided to keep on the team. I'm gonna give them an A. Next, we have Global Esports, who are pretty much reshaping their whole team. They brought in Crystal, which a lot of people who follow the Chinese and EMEA tier 2 region have been saying that EMEA has been sleeping and low-key missed out on Crystal, as well as Yudong Tan, who has been frying the tier 2 league with Crystal, and at times besting each other. Now for the rest of the players, I don't know much information on them, besides the fact that Kelly's used to play on RRQ before spending his time in tier 2, which both Patrick Hu and Poppy, and all three are Filipino, and been playing in tier 2. Global Esports is a little bit of an unknown quantity, but I will give Global Esports a benefit of the doubt in that their open tryouts was a success, seeing how they were able to pick up Crystal. Also, the fact that Poppy's username used to be Poppy Chulo, it kind of made me laugh. Like, imagine one day this guy gets an ace and the casters have to say and scream his name, Poppy Chulo. It would have been hilarious. And just because Global Esports made me smile a little bit, I'm gonna give them a B+. Here we have Koi. They decided to keep Shados and Grabhino, which both picks are very intelligent to make when it comes to keeping these individuals. Shados won a title with Gambit, and Grabhino has been stellar throughout 2024. And when it comes to picking off talent from Apex, Koi decided to take Soulcast from them. Last time he was in tier 1 was when he was on Team Liquid, and now he has an opportunity to prove himself at this stage of Valorant once again. Kind of tricky. I low-key wanted to give them a C because when I'm comparing this roster to their previous one, it doesn't really excite me too much. I feel like maybe they got a little bit better, but I'm not too sure if it's like significantly enough for them to actually make an international event. However, one of the reasons why I'm not going to keep Koi in C is because one of their players was able to get an ace during the Karmine Corp and Koi exhibition match, which was kind of cool to see. So just based off of feelings, I'm gonna put Koi at B- instead of C. Lastly, we have Karmine Corp, who the only returning player from this team is Martine, which is a little bit surprising, you know. They had Narrate, who they were never going to be able to keep because first, Sentinels have deep pockets, and many players would love to play for Sentinels, but they did let go of a lot of their other young talents that could have really proved themselves. You know, it wasn't like Karmine Corp had a horrible season. They were able to make one international event, and then afterwards, they just kind of fizzled out as teams were able to like read them a little bit better. But I didn't think that they would go to the extent of just blowing up their whole roster. But hey, since Champs is going to be in Paris, I guess Karmine Corp wanted to go all out and make sure that they would be in attendance for that. And just like how other French orgs are trying to go all out to make Champs in Paris. And I think Martine is still an incredible talent. He did struggle against their exhibition match against Koi, but to be fair, he was playing Neon, you know? I think we're going to see a lot of pro players struggle to play Neon in 2025. Yes, at the tippity top levels, Neon can look busted, but at the end of the day, it's a very hard agent to master. It might be even harder than Raze in my opinion, because it's not only the comfortability of the player who's using Neon, like the duelists themselves, but it's the team as a whole, where the strengths and weaknesses of Neon is very different than the strengths and weaknesses of Jet and Raze. And a team has to realize that and play around Neon, where you play into Neon's strengths and you cover her weaknesses as a duelist. Me personally, I feel like if Karmine Corp at the first half of the season, they notice that Martin is struggling on Neon, either they move him off of Neon and onto a different duelist, because I think Raze and Jet are still going to be solid picks, as well as ISO, or maybe have someone else on the team play Neon. I mean, we had Sadak doing it for a little bit, which is crazy. And speaking of Sadak, he is on this team, one of the best IGLs in the world, Mr. Do It All. Which again kind of shocked everybody when rumors of him joining Karmine Corp started to surface, but it's still a great pick to have, because if you pay attention to like one of the weaknesses that Karmine Corp had last year, it was like mid-rounding was one of those weaknesses. So why not pick up someone who's known to be a great IGL? There's so many times I remember in Masters Madrid where Sadak was just picking teams apart on Icebox because he just understood that map so well, and he just had a great sense and feeling of the game. Karmine Corp also decided to pick up Zagetsu, who's a great addition to the team. You can always put him in like your top 15 or even top 10 players in the EMEA. It's just that Na'Vi just didn't really have a great season, but they didn't have a bad season either. Na'Vi was just unlucky because they were facing Team Heretics, who arguably we can say was the best EMEA team of last year. And they also picked up Elite, who was on BBL, which, yeah, the team BBL struggled, but Elite was one of their bright sides of the team. He will usually be top fragging and sometimes go quite positive while the rest of his teammates were struggling, you know? And plus he's Turkish. So if you're an EMEA team and you're trying to make it the champs, having at least one Turkish player isn't a bad idea. And why not pick up Elite in the process? They also have a new player who's from Egypt. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. I don't know much about him, but he did have a great showing on Breach when Karmine Corp played Koi in their exhibition match. Overall, Karmine Corp created a roster intended to make champs with, and I think they succeeded with the amount of talent that's on this team. They should at least make it to one international event. And if you couldn't tell, I'm giving them an A. One of the bigger offseason moves have already been made, and it was by Tenz himself.
But the chef that we have is fucking Energy's past chef.
Day in my life as the private chef at Energy Esports. Here's everything I cooked today for our Valorant and League of Legends team.
Legit stole away NRG's. Imagine stealing away NRG's playoff chances and then legit stealing their chef. Fucking, oh, the food will taste even better.
Honestly, I like this move. It's strategic, really sends a message to the enemy team. Even though you're no longer a player, you can still troll the competition a little bit. But when it comes to picking chefs, I think this is an excellent move as well. The only name that I can personally think of that could have been better probably was Gordon Ramsay or Remy himself. But as we know, Remy's locked up with Plixar, and who can actually get a hold of Gordon Ramsay himself, you know? But on a more serious note, we have this clip of Parter detailing and answering a question about her Evil Genius's roster.
Temporary roster, right? You guys are like trying stuff out right now. You guys don't have a locked-in team. That's what we're hearing? Or you can't comment too much on it?
I mean, it's not a. This is the roster that I want to win 2025.
You want to make it work with this team?
Yes. This is the roster that we came to this tournament, and this is our dry run tournament. With this is the roster that we want in 2025.
I see.
But the whole temporary thing is something else that's going on.
I got you.
I don't know. I just work here.
Fair enough.
And it seems like Sim was one of those individuals who isn't going to be staying with EG just because people have found that Sim has been scrimming with TSM now. And Ye's situation is up in the air too. It's also been reported for a while now that Aspas has a verbal agreement with Made in Brazil, and the team has already been formed. This leak says it's going to be Aspas, Nazweer, Freud, Artenzine, and these two individuals. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little bit of deja vu here. We have 4 Brazilians as well as an Argentine IGL. I mean, I can't be the only one here, right? Plus fraud too. It is what it is. It's also been reported by this website that Loud has signed Didijin and Vinny. VLR hasn't updated it yet, so maybe they're just waiting for Loud to make that announcement themselves. It's also been reported that Loud has signed Penkata and Tuis to an extension on the team until 2026, which is a pretty smart move, and it's kind of funny how they have basically the 2 best Brazilian controllers on one team. But hey, Double Smokes is a legit comp to run on a lot of maps. And we can't forget about this Rickroll that Leviathan has made on people. And I know a handful of people from like the UK who have memorized the URL. I've never memorized the URL from this Rickroll. I just had a feeling that something was up because this shadowy individual is most likely Tenz. But that's everything I was able to find from the Americas. I said this before and I'll keep saying it again. This is such a stacked region, it's ridiculous. Anything can happen if you're not on your A game every single week when you play a team. Sometimes you have to play a team twice a week during the regular season. Good luck to everyone's pick'ems and predictions when it comes to this region, because it's going to just be all types of wrong if someone's able to get 100%. I'll be surprised in any kind of event. Fnatic officially announced Kayak joining the team in this trailer, which surprisingly was funny and had good acting when it comes to using esports players. We still don't know what Fnatic's roster is going to be looking like in 2025. They did bring in a newcomer for the off-season events, but a lot of people are still trying to figure out what's going on with Leo. Fnatic did say that they're committed to keeping him on board as he goes through his own situations. Only time will tell at this point. DRX also picked up a Thin, which could just be a temporary thing for off-season events. Only time will tell as well. BN is now a free agent too. He's been let go of DRX. In China, we have Russia joining Bilibili Gaming, which turned out to be a good pick seeing how they won FGC. And I really like some of the memes that came out of this, where half the people are saying that Bilibili picked up a whole country, while the others are saying that Bilibili signed a VTuber. I'm definitely going to be rooting for this guy so we can see more of these. And it also looks like Dragon Ranger Gaming and All Gamers have picked up a couple of new individuals to bolster their roster as well. These are all the roster moves that I was able to find. If I miss any, let me know down below. But like always, stay safe, be a KDAW warrior, and I'll see you later.